But if the way to a fan's heart is through his stomach, purists of the game, its origins, roots and feel, might turn to a humbler club whose notions are perhaps less grandiose. To Yorkshire and Featherstone Rovers, motto nil desperandum. Featherstone is only Station Lane and low houses on either side. It's a village and not very pretty. At Featherstone they mine coal and play rugby league. There are 14,000 Featherstonians, and there cannot be a smaller community whose ground is so regularly thronged by talent spotters and the national press.
Rovers still kept their unbeaten home league record with typically fierce forward play.
Well, naturally being colliers, they've always supplied the rugby league with some of the finest forwards we've ever had in the game. The reason, of course, working in the pit, they were tough guys.
Full point. Big Mal, M-A-L, short for Malcolm, Dixon, D-I-X-O-N, bumped off a defender.
The Rovers' success is fed through to Manchester. It'll be fed back again in the Yorkshire editions only. For unlike soccer, rugby league sells few newspapers.
Over for the first try. Full point paragraph.
Okay, thanks very much.
About half the Featherstone Rovers side work in the pit.
In olden days, and there were no pithead baths then, and they used to come and play in the pit muck. But it's laughable.
I used to think they were half-caste when I went out field.
When he goes to work at these pits, he's working among rugby league people, brought up in rugby league, and they talk about it, they live for it, and that's it.
Sorry, it's Macklin's report. Thanks. Page 31, Yorkshire.
Featherstone Rovers have won. The players are on the winning bonus, £14. If they win again on Saturday, it'll be £15. If they lose, only £7.
Right-o then, lads. Saturday, we'll just have 2 minutes on Saturday's match, and that is obviously we had a good match. We won fairly well, but according to the press we ought to got 60. And he was in the press box and we were on the field. But we were still making mistakes. Mostly, I would think, at the back end when we didn't get the ball out of the scrimmages when we ought to have done. The last 20 minutes we hardly saw the ball.
Featherstone Rovers, completely a mining community where at one time the miners used to pay a penny or twopence out of their wage packets to support the local club, and a club where the whole of the population can get into the ground at Post Office Lane. And of course they were in the final a couple of years ago and very successful.
May the 13th, 1967, and with a trail of slaughtered Goliaths in their wake, the village bore home in triumph the great Rugby League Cup.
We've only 13,500 inhabitants, you know. And
you see, it made history for this village. It's unique. Nobody gave our team a chance. Not one person gave our team a chance to win this cup. We're just a local side with local boys. Majority of them are all local boys, are all working lads, part-time footballers. So they are part-time. And nobody gave them a chance, and against all the odds...
Oh, interception! Oh, it's a try! Interception! Oh, what a pass! Oh, what an interception, and what a try to go on Thomas! No wonder!
On that day, the village side played before 90,000 at Wembley.
Malcolm has the ball here. This is one of their players who was tackling...
The Rovers coach, then as now, Mr. Laurie Gant, an old Rover himself, famous for his exploit in the 52 final when, after a rub-down with brandy and rum, he played with pneumonia.
There's no doubt about it. It was team spirit among them boys what won this cup. They won this cup in the dressing room with team spirit, and they were just one happy family, them boys.
Going on his own, Dula going on his own. Smails it over, smails it in for a try. Dula showed the ball, pretended.
If Tranmere Rovers had won the FA Cup, it wouldn't have been a greater surprise.
Made it and Smails, a happy man against...
The team trains 2 evenings a week after work. The players are local men, for Featherstone can't afford to buy. It's much more likely to balance its books from selling, from transfer fees for its own homemade talent.
Further down now. Jim, keep jumping on the spot. Come on, come on. Come on. Hop, hop, get him up! Hop, 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 get him up! Right up, well done, Mick. Well done. Hop, 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 hop. Right up. Marama, honey.
Some clubs are limited companies. Featherstone still managed by committee. A builder, master cobbler, welder, factory owner and 4 colliery workers pick Saturday's team. If the club fell on really hard times, they could guarantee it perhaps £100 or £200 out of their own savings.
All at the same time, ready? All out in one big gulp, ready? Hop! Last one!
Saturday, an hour before the kick-off.
Well, he's played every match as Jim this year, this season. We can't leave him out, he's too good to leave out. Never rest.
So Featherstone prepared to defend an unbeaten home record. Laurie Gant, slave driver and father figure, has an enormous executive cigar in his tracksuit pocket. If Featherstone win, he'll smoke it.
And there's a chap that I'm afraid I don't know much about called Ogden. Anybody know Ogden? I don't know a lot about him. He's liable to run. Expect him to dummy, expect him to make openings, expect him to run, expect anything, so down him straight away.
They come along, I think, in Rugby League particularly, to see the strange amalgam that Rugby League offers. A fast, exciting, skillful play and sheer primitive physical contact. I think when you see a huge forward crashing his way through tackle after tackle by sheer physical endeavour and delivering a mighty handoff with a brawny arm which sends the full-back flying, you associate yourself with that man, and it's you who are knocking people over, and it's your hand that is knocking people flying, and I think you enjoy it. And if a psychiatrist were to wax Fulton about this, he'd say it's cathartic in the sense that it gets rid of the latent violence in us all. And the excitement of a forward battering ram is something which releases them, perhaps for just one day a week, away from the monotony of their work.
It's a game that gets hold of you, isn't it? It gets all, it grips you, you know. It's a man's game, really. It ain't a woman's game, you know. It's good, rough and tough, isn't it? It is. It's great. I love it. It closes your ears sometimes because you see, the men, they forget that the women are there, and they think that if you say anything, you say, oh well, women shouldn't be watching Rugby League.
Get that Featherstone bloody hooker up there!
The scrums are 7-5.
Settle down. Yeah.
No, carry on. Are you being pulled in, Alan?
He's having us. We're getting advantage when we get down, pushing.
Yeah.
And he's having us going backwards. And then he's letting them put ball in while we're going backwards and we've no chance, Laurie.
Fair enough.
So to make a mark,
yeah.
Stop there.
Go to the mark then. Go to the mark, play to the whistle, go to the mark and stop there. Don't give them that advantage. Don't give the referee the advantage of sending you back. Now that's the first thing, a right nice tight back. But we're all right with the ball. Fairly even Stevens, we're doing all right.
I'm taking those forward and then Keith's got to hang back for stand up.
Half-time. Featherstone could lose. £8 bonus money is at stake. So is the prospect of a nice cigar. Laurie Gant, Sergeant Major, turns Laurie Gant, diplomat.
Coming across there. Oh yeah, but we're saying now, against this team, you've got to do something extra special. It's a little bit harder for you. You're going to have to look blind, aren't you? And if there's nothing doing, you're going to have to get across a little bit quicker. So it is, John. Do the same things that you are doing, but it's a little bit of extra work for you.
Come on, Featherstone! Get him down! Come on! He were offside a mile, that player.
Steady, Ken, steady. He gives a minute, so on. What's this now? You all right, Dennis? Yes, all right.
All right, well done. Well done. You're going to make a good winger.
Hold on, John, hold on.
Always get a cigar when we win. No. All right, now, it's been like, you get tired. Well played. All right, Alan. Well done, John. Well done. Congratulations, John. Well done. You're a good one, but you can't kick.
Hey, oh. Kick it to hey, you don't like that one, do you?
You're very good.
Hey.
What happened to that try up there? Did you lost ball and Vince score?
He knocked it out his hand.
He knocked it out of his hand. I wonder what happened.
It's an hard game.
He's a good one, isn't
Jimmy, took a bit of this off, got.
The after-match booze-up so beloved by Union players is foreign to clubs like Featherstone. In League, it's a cup of tea, a sandwich, a chat and then home. For in League, it's the supporters who make a night out of it at the Supporters Social Club.
I gave caviar to Barbara Castle, and it gave her such a thrill. I gave caviar to Barbara Castle, and she jumped in bed with Transport Bill. La 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 la.
Come on, keep it up. Come on. This is how we want it on Saturday.
Stop bombing!
It's a hard game. Hard for players to play, hard for clubs to survive. And Rugby League, sent to Coventry for 3/4 of a century, fights the good fight. For want of a nail, the battle was lost. For want of 6 shillings, British rugby was lost. But rugby was not the only casualty. Every pinprick, snub, rebuff, every hot word and cold shoulder added its drop of poison to the cauldron of class and regional suspicion.
Let it go as if you're parting me out when you've got in your body. Are you ready, lad? Lad, up it there! Lift him up! Up, 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 up! Go on, Steve, get him up! Come on, Tommy! Come on, lad, get him up, mate! Up it there! Get him well up, Steve! Come on, Mick, get him up there, lad, that's it! Make him touch them chins, Mick! Up it there! Stick them chests out, that'll do, lads! Straight into this one, lads, come on! Straight into it, Mal! Come on, we'll start it! Come on, John, we've been going 5 minutes. Come on, lads, a bit faster. Keep them going. Bend them back, Scott. That's it, Dave, well done. Come on, Mal.
In a minute, Ken.
Come on, Tom, keep them going. Come on, lads, a bit faster.